In this video, we will be learning about chemical transmission at synapses. Most communication between neurons occurs at a specialized structure called a synapse. A synapse is an area where two neurons come close enough to one another that they are able to pass chemical signals from one cell to another. The neurons are not actually connected, but are separated by a microscopically small space called the synaptic cleft. The cleft is less than 40 nanometer wide. The neuron where the signal is initiated is called the presynaptic neuron, while the neuron that receives the signal is called the postsynaptic neuron. In the presynaptic neuron, there are chemical signals called neurotransmitters that are packed into small sacs called the synaptic vesicles. Each vesicle can contain thousands of neurotransmitter molecules. Let's discuss the steps in synaptic transmission. Synaptic transmission is initiated by the arrival of action potential at the synaptic knobs. Depolarization of the presynaptic membrane causes opening of voltage-gated calcium channels, and influx of calcium ions from the extracellular fluid to the synaptic knob occurs. Calcium ions activate a calcium-dependent protein kinase which mobilizes the synaptic vesicles to the presynaptic membrane. The synaptic vesicles fuse with the membrane and the transmitter stored in the vesicles is extruded by exocytosis into the synaptic cleft. Once they are in the synaptic cleft, neurotransmitters interact with the receptors on the postsynaptic membrane. They bind to these receptors and can cause an action to occur in the postsynaptic cell as a result. This action may involve increasing the likelihood that the postsynaptic cell will become activated and fire an action potential or decreasing it. Eventually, the neurotransmitter molecules must be cleared from the synaptic cleft. Some of them will simply drift away in a process called diffusion. In some cases, the neurotransmitter is taken back up into the presynaptic neuron in a process called reuptake. Once back inside the presynaptic neuron, the neurotransmitter can be recycled and reused. In other cases, the enzymes break down the neurotransmitter within the synaptic cleft. Then the component parts of the neurotransmitter can be sent back into the presynaptic neuron to make more neurotransmitter. This is a flowchart which sums up the concept of neurotransmitter. Action potential signal arrives at the presynaptic neuron. Depolarization of the presynaptic cell membrane. Entry of calcium into the presynaptic neuron terminal. Release of neurotransmitter by the presynaptic neuron into the synaptic cleft. Chemical interaction between the transmitter and specific receptors on the postsynaptic cell membrane. Transient change in the permeability of the postsynaptic membrane to specific ions. Generation of postsynaptic potential in postsynaptic cell membrane. Thank you.